Okay, Mr. Martinez, we are on.
All righty. Good evening, everyone. All of a sudden, I'm looking for there. Okay. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss the Pledge of Allegiance. It's further down the agenda. Okay, good evening to one and all. It is January 27th, 6:02 p.m. This is a Rialto Unified School District regular meeting of the Board of Education. Tonight we are opening in open session. And do we have any comments on the closed session agenda items, Dr. Avila?
We do not.
Okay, in that case, I'm looking for a motion and a second to go into closed session, please.
I move.
Second, Montes.
Okay, thank you, Clerk Lewis and Mr. Montes. And vote by board member, Ms. O'Kelly.
Aye.
Thank you. Clerk Lewis.
Aye.
Thank you. Vice President Montes.
Aye.
Thank you. And myself, unanimous 4 with Ms. Walker. She'll be in late. I'll ask her for her tardy slip. La 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 la. Okay, the time is 6:03. Dr. Avila, let's move into closed session. All right. Thank you, Dr. Avila. Good evening once again, Rialto community. This is Rialto Unified School District, a regular meeting of the Board of Education. We are coming back out of closed session and about to enter open session. So, adjournment of closed session. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second, Clerk Lewis.
Okay. Who was the first motion?
Kelly made the first motion.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. O'Kelly motioned and Clerk Lewis seconded. So is Ms. Walker available to us yet? Okay, vote by board. Ms. Walker. Okay, she's still running late. That's okay. Ms. O'Kelly, how do you vote?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Clerk Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you. Vice President Montez?
Aye.
Thank you. And I am also an aye. So a unanimous vote of 4 with 1 not back yet. So it is 7:01 p.m. for the record. And we have reconvened. So first, join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll say it, and everyone can just think it or voice it with the phone muted, so there's not mass confusion. Pledge allegiance, stand up, hand over your heart. The Pledge of Allegiance, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. And Dr. Avila, report out of closed session.
Yes, President Martinez. The Board of Education accepted the request for an unpaid leave of absence for classified employee number 2660431 from January 19th, 2021 through June 3rd, 2021. The roll call vote was unanimous for those present. Mrs. Walker was not with us at the time. The Board of Education... One more. The Board of Education accepted the request for an unpaid leave of absence for classified employee number 2633031 from January 19th, 2021 through June 3rd, 2021. The roll call vote was unanimous by those present. Ms. Walker was not in attendance. And that is all we have.
Thank you, Dr. Avila. Okay, we continue with the adoption of the agenda. Do we have a motion and a second, please?
Move to adopt the agenda.
Thank you, Ms. O'Kelly.
Second, Walker.
All right, Ms. Walker, welcome. And thank you very much. A vote by board members. Ms. Walker, how do you vote?
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. And Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Clerk Lewis, please.
Aye.
Thank you. Vice President Montez, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. And it is unanimous with me voting aye as well. Okay, we do have presentations tonight. B1, fiscal year 2019-2020 annual audited financial report. Presentation by Andrew Park, CPA partner, EID Bailey Limited Partnership regarding fiscal year 2019-2020 annual audited financial report. Dr. Avila, take it away.
Yes, and Mr. Islam and Diane are also with us, and I believe it's Diane that's going to read out the report.
Good evening, Ms. Romo.
My name is Diane Romo. I'm the lead fiscal services agent for the district, and I will be reading on behalf of Mr. Park the results of the audit. So on behalf of Andrew Park, CPA partner at auditing firm Bailey, I will be reading a summary of the annual audited financial report for the fiscal year 2019-2020. The summary of the audit report is as follows. The audit report provides assurance by issuing opinions on the fair presentation of financial statements, federal and state compliance. The highest level of assurance is an unmodified opinion, followed by a qualified opinion, and the lowest level of assurance is an adverse or disclaimer. An unmodified opinion is synonymous with a clean opinion. For the 2019-2020 fiscal year, the auditor issued an unmodified opinion on the financial statements for the district. The auditor did not identify any internal control matters that need to be brought forward to the governing board. All checks and balances and internal controls implemented by the district's management are working as intended for the purposes of financial reporting. For the fiscal year 2019-2020, the auditor issued an unmodified opinion on the district's compliance with federal requirements. The auditor was required to test Title I funds. There was no compliance matters or findings that were required to be reported to the governing board. There was also no known weaknesses in checks and balances or internal control matters that were required to be reported to the governing board. There were no findings to report related to the program. For the fiscal year 2019-2020, the auditor issued an unmodified opinion on the district's compliance with state requirements. A complete list of programs that were audited are identified on page 100 of the audit report. Based on the testing of all applicable programs, the district was in compliance. This concludes the presentation of the annual audited financial report for fiscal year 2019-2020.
Thank you, Ms. Roma. Excellent findings. Board, do you have any questions or comments?
A complete list of programs that were audited are identified on page 100.
Okay, hearing none. Somebody was speaking back there. I don't know if it's translation or somebody not muting their phone, but if you would please mute it if appropriate. Okay, we will continue. Hearing no questions or comments. Great finding, and again, thank you, Ms. Romo. B2, General Obligation Bonds, otherwise known as GO bonds, Measure Y, Financial, and Performance Audit for fiscal years 2019 and 2020. Measure Y 2010, Proposition 39, General Obligation Bonds, Financial and Performance Audit Report for the year ended June 30th, 2020. Presented by Ms. Paula Bailey, Chairperson of the Measure Y Citizens Oversight Committee. Ms. Bailey, are you there? Dr. Avila?
Yes, I believe Diane will be doing the reporting on this one as well.
All right. Ms. Romo, continue.
Okay, so on behalf of the Measure Y Citizens Oversight Committee and Mrs. Paula Bailey, I'll go ahead and summarize the audit findings as well. The summary of the audit report is as follows. For the financial report, pages 1 through 12, the auditor issued an unmodified opinion or clean opinion on the financial statements related to the general obligation bond Measure Y as of June 30th, 2020. The auditor did not identify any internal control weaknesses or findings that need to be reported. For the performance audit, pages 13 through 18, the auditor conducted a performance audit of the district's general obligation bond Measure Y building fund from July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020. The performance audit determines if the district has spent the bond proceeds in accordance with board-approved Measure Y. The district incurred a total of $2,200,684 in Measure Y expenditures. Auditors tested $1,500,026,927 of the Measure Y expenditures to test compliance of how the district is using Measure Y funds. Based on the testing performed, the district was in full compliance in how Measure Y proceeds should be spent. There was no exceptions or non-compliance to report to the board. that is the conclusion of the report.
Thank you, Ms. Romo. Excellent on both reports. As usual, you do excellent work. Board members, do you have any comments or questions? Okay, hearing none, let me get my paperwork squared away here. Okay, we move on to C, comments. Public comments from the floor. At this time, any person wishing to speak on any item not on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Dr. Avila, do we have any?
Yes, we do. We have a couple. Good evening, board member, superintendent, and community. Hope all of you and families are doing well. 2020 was a year where we learned so much, at least I did. I hope 2021 can be a year of reflection for all. I do want to thank all of the teachers and support staff who made miracles to help our children and families during these difficult times. I know that eventually each school site will be open for students to learn face-to-face, and I hope that Rialto school sites and Rialto School District Administration are working on a safe plan, safe back to school again. Let's continue to social distance as much as we can, wearing a mask when we are in public, and remember that our behavior can save lives. Stay happy, healthy, stay safe, happy, and healthy. Thank you. Respectfully, Rosa Fuentes. Dear board members and superintendent, it is time to say it. There will be no live in-person instruction this year. Our parents, students, and staff need to know how we will finish this school year. If it is to be online, then so be it, and please let us know. The longer we go on without clarity, the harder it is. Please make a definitive statement tonight. Sincerely, Tobin Brinker. And that's all we have for items not on the agenda.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Avila. We will continue then with public comments on the agenda. Any person wishing to speak on any item on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Dr. Avila, do we have any?
Yes, we have one. Dear school board members, this comment is to express my support of Resolution 20-21-18, continuing distance learning through the remainder of the school year for the following reasons. First and foremost, under the continued surge in numbers in our county, the health and safety of our students and staff cannot be guaranteed. Our county remains in the widespread purple tier and has had a very slow and confusing vaccine rollout. As it stands now, teachers and children are not included in the eligible group to receive vaccines. Teachers and other staff will undoubtedly become infected, leading to huge system disruption district-wide. Second, I must express some concern that teachers, staff, and students will suffer if there is a change to our Bridge Academy program and distance learning this late in the year. We have all just begun to feel secure and settle in with the digital learning process. To change this now would be very disruptive to families and to students' learning. Finally, our families within the district have expressed their overwhelming support of remaining with distance learning. Thank you, and I am confident our board will support this resolution as well, as it is in the best interest of our students, staff, and families. Respectfully, Francesca Sweet. That's all we have for items on the agenda.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Avila. On YouTube, someone did ask a question, so I will forward that to you. That way we don't get inundated through a third message that we are not going to open up. So be a one-time only. Okay, comments from Association Executive Board members. Rialto Education Association.
We have none.
Hearing no, nobody, Dr. Avila?
No, sir.
Okay, California School Employees Association, did they write in?
No, sir.
Communication Workers of America, CWA, do they have any comment?
No comments.
Okay, Rialto School Managers Association, are we going to run the table here?
We do have comments from RSMA.
Okay.
So it states Okay, good evening, Board of Education, Dr. Avila, Innovation Team, and viewing audience. My name is Angela Brantley, President of Rialto School Managers Association. Our RSMA Board would like to continue to encourage us all and thank all department and school site leaders for your hard work in providing amazing leadership. Your compassion for teachers, staff, students, and families as we stay focused on positive student academic outcomes is inspiring. Our students deserve our best, and our RSMA leaders are committed to providing it. We look forward to seeing all of our parents at the district's virtual Parent Summit this Saturday, January 30th. What an exciting opportunity to connect our parents to critical information that will support them and their children. Lastly, remember to be kind to those around you, especially yourself. Have a great night, Angela Brantley.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Avila, and thank you, Ms. Brantley, for RSMA. Love the comments. Okay, comments from the superintendent. Stay with it. Positive note, Dr. Avila.
Thank you, President Martinez. So I too would like to encourage as many parents as possible to sign up for our virtual Parent Summit this school year. It is the first done virtually. We know that we've done it over the past 10 or so years in person, and each year we're able to group over 2,000 parents, students, and staff members to an exciting Parent Summit. This year it will be done virtually, but I can assure you that the content of the presentations will be just as valuable. So parents, if you're out there listening, I encourage you to attend, to join us, and to encourage other parents to do so this coming Saturday. The other, with respect to the district's plans to reopen at some point, I do realize that there's a lot of interest on both sides of those that are preferring in-person instruction, those that prefer to remain using our Bridge Academy, and of course many who just want to see kids return to normal, especially our athletes who are craving the possibility of resuming their athletic activity. And I was an athlete for many years and understand the need and the passion behind athletic competition. But keep in mind that as a district, we'll continue to make decisions that are in the best interest of everyone's health based on how COVID numbers are impacting our local community. And so we've had the position from day one that we would make every decision based on numbers, and we have stood our ground in that regard. And if and when we're able to return to in-person instruction with small cohorts, with special populations, again, those decisions will be made in the best interest of our students, staff, and families based on the data that is germane to our local community. And so I encourage everyone to continue to practice the safe guidelines, adhering to them. This has not gone away, and I certainly look forward to the day that we can resume some activities as we perform them prior to the presence of COVID. So hang in there, stay strong, and stay as positive as you can under the circumstances. That's all I have, President Martinez.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Avila. Has student board member Destiny Lopez checked in tonight, Dr. Avila?
I'm here.
Oh, hey. Good evening, Ms. Lopez. And would you like to make comments tonight? It's up to you.
No comments for tonight.
Okay. Caught me by surprise. It is good to hear your voice, and I'm praying that you're all healthy at your home.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Comments from members of the Board of Education. Okay, Ms. Walker, are you ready?
Yes, thank you, President Martinez. I'd just like to say again, everybody, just thank you for hanging in there with us around the distance education. And for those of you who aren't, not hanging in with us, if whatever resources that you need, please make sure that you're contacting the district, because we definitely have a lot of resources. I've been having to, make sure that some of the parents that have contacted me, been able to call into the district and find out some of the resources that, to help them with their technology or support. So just remember that we're still here regardless. to help you with doing that and help your students as well. We've got a lot of services that are offered to the students around their social and emotional health and support as well. So don't feel that you're out on, alone by yourself, parents, and for your students out and alone. We still have staff that are working on behalf of the district and on behalf of the students. So just want to reiterate that piece. Also for the college students, for if you have a college student in your house or a prospective college student, a senior this year, it is not too late to apply to college. Numbers are drastically down on college applications, especially for our state schools, and then also for financial aid. So there's still time to get your financial aid and make sure that that dream of college for your young person is still a viable dream. I know Ms. Lee is working hard with some partners in the region to make sure that you get support. Again, talk to your teachers, your senior teachers, your counselors are still available to help and direct you to some of the other community resources to help you get your kid on path to apply to college, into a college. So that still is an option for us. And then the last piece is just to say, I'm excited. This is one of our consent items tonight around the coursework approved for next year for the 21-22 school year. We've got some courageous, really impactful courses that we're planning for the district, and once we are going to approve them around our ethnic studies courses. We've got a women's studies course coming, our Afro-Latin ensemble course. Excited about that. So the fine arts. Also thinking about one of our CTE courses, which is a construction course. Great pathway, one of our rising, our top of industry in this area. So glad to see that course, having our young people be able to access that. And then, of course, finally, the addition of the college success course, that one unit, so that seniors actually have a class that they can go to every week to get help with their college applications and financial aid. So thank you, district. Thank you for the counseling team. And I know the CTE and college readiness team, everybody who's really looking forward about what our students actually need to be successful, whether they're going to college or career. It's an exciting time to be in the district. And then lastly, the little middle school class of civic engagement, close to my heart. So hopefully we'll see that as a college, high school level course as well. But thank you again, team, for really thinking about the future of our young people. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Great comments. I agree with all of it, and thank you for always working your darndest for our students. I know that you were busy still working on behalf of our students and those in the Inland Empire. So I teased everyone I was going to ask you for a tardy note, but I'm not. Anyway, Ms. O'Kelly, comments, please.
Yes, tonight I want to talk a little bit about the history of what we're going through right now. A survey by UNICEF found that 94% of countries implemented some form of remote learning when COVID-19 closed schools last spring. This is not the first time that education has been disrupted in the United States. Outbreaks of scarlet fever, measles, diphtheria, influenza, and other communicable diseases regularly closed schools before vaccines greatly reduced childhood illnesses. In 1937, a severe polio epidemic hit the United States. At that time, the contagious virus had no cure, and it crippled or paralyzed some of those infected. Playgrounds and pools closed, and children were banned from movie theaters and other public places. In Chicago, the large number of cases prompted the Board of Health to postpone the start of school for 3 weeks. This delay sparked the idea for the first large-scale radio school experiment through a highly innovative program. Over 315,000 students in grades 3 through 8 continued their education at home, receiving lessons on the radio. Teachers collaborated with principals to create on-air lessons for each grade with oversight from experts. 7 local radio stations donated airtime. Local papers printed class schedules. Social studies and science classes were held on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. English and math classes were held on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Classes were short, only about 15 minutes, and provided simple, broad questions and assigned homework. When schools reopened, students would submit their work and take tests to demonstrate mastery of the material. The radio instruction ended when schools reopened 3 weeks later. However, the radio school experiment initiated a partnership between Chicago's public schools and local radio stations, which led to the production of educational shows, broadcasted educational conferences, and also supplemented grade-level curriculum. Using multiple platforms to educate our kids continues to be the future or the new normal for education. Thank you. That's all for tonight. Hello?
That mute button got me. Ms. O'Kelly, that is a great report. You did your homework. Thank you very much. That's just a little bit of what we're experiencing, and we will continue to experience until we're out of the woods on this. So really appreciate the history lesson. And I thought you were a math teacher. Okay, Clerk Lewis, coming your way.
Yes, I would like to thank the superintendent and his cabinet and all the teachers for getting the parent agenda. Parents, the agenda is listed on the district website. So I know Saturdays and your time to be offline, but you can look and see what the excitement of all the excitement is about for this parent training, and you'll be able to give your input. I would also like to piggyback on Board Member Walker. The board have approved and so many tutoring programs and so many courses to not only work with people who are students who are falling behind, but in my field we do prevention. Even if your child appears to be doing okay, the tutoring and some of these support services will prevent them from becoming overwhelmed or getting behind, and you would like for them to even get ahead during this time. And Board Member O'Kelly, I still remember and visualize taking that polio on the sugar cube. and those were the times when they just pulled you into the gym and you had your sugar cube polio and you had your tetanus in your arm and no parent permission. You had a scar after your immunization. So we have really improved. So it's very hard. And when you think this pandemic has really slammed us to the ground, but like a ball, we will come back and we will bounce back higher. So we talk about resiliency, but I think our staff and teachers and administrators and parents and the students are all working hard, and we will come back when school is in session much stronger in a much more cohesive state. And this technology is just going to make us soar even higher.
I agree, Ms. Lewis.
Absolutely. Boy, I'm feeling old remembering the sugar cube and the shot in the arm.
Welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like the shot one bit. Still don't. Okay, great comments. Thank you, Clerk Lewis. Vice President Montez, your turn for comments.
Thank you, Board President, Mr. Martinez. Well, good evening, everybody. I just would like to really thank everyone who sent me text messages or phone called during my recent experience with the coronavirus. And I wasn't going to share it but I believe it's important, and I believe that it's relevant to what we're experiencing in our communities during this difficult time. Me and one of my twin sons were recently had tested positive for COVID-19, and although we had minor symptoms, during our 2-week quarantine, we did experience what most people who have gone through it, the somewhat of depression and psychological worrying about, oh my God, is tomorrow my symptoms going to get worse, or am I going to start feeling strange and whatnot? But we thank the Almighty Creator that we got through it safely and without any major complications. And our thoughts and prayers go out to those who really have had lots of suffering because of this pandemic, and ultimately many loved ones have lost their lives. So we're over it, but we continue to take care of ourselves, take precautions, be as careful as possible, and I just would like to remind everyone to continue to take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Holidays were pretty tough for us because we canceled Christmas and New Year's, and all for the safety and health of our loved ones. We have to feel the same way about our students and then our staff members, our administrators. As much as many of us would love for our schools to reopen, we have to continue to put safety first above everything else. I read the emails. I have received some calls from concerned teachers, concerned administrators, concerned parents that, and I agree with them. I think at this point, the best thing for us to do is to start thinking about perhaps if it's safe enough to reopen starting fresh the next school year and just continue with distance learning for the rest of this year. According to the new administration here in our country, we're possibly in the peak of the pandemic. We don't know that yet, and we don't know exactly how things are going to continue to develop in the near months. But we have to continue to be careful. We have to continue to think about what's in the best interest of the safety and the health of our community, of our school district. And I just want everyone to know that I believe most people in our district, I believe our board, our superintendent, all the superintendent's leadership team agrees that safety is our number one priority, and perhaps we don't consider reopening until it's clearly safe enough to do so. And even when we do, it will not be full-blown. It will be a gradual reopening. And I also wanted to just comment that I have received some concerns regarding our meetings being strictly telephonically. Other districts, other governing bodies that are meeting, that continue to meet for the sake of continuing our operations, are now meeting through Zoom or Google Meets. I think it's important that our community, our constituents, our parents, our students have the opportunity to see us, even if it's just on television. I think that we've come too far to kind of be outdated or kind of be left behind technologically with these televised telephone calls. I much would rather see our district work towards televising perhaps Zoom board meeting or any of the other applications or programs that are available. Remember that on many of these programs, you have the option to not only mute your microphone, but also, if you have to, be out of view for a while, you can even block the camera. But I think we could do the same thing for those who don't want to be seen. Can simply just press the stop the video button, just like the mute button, and not be heard and not be seen. But I think it's important for those of us who do want the community to see us, that we have that option to do so. It kind of feels like holding and hosting these school board meetings telephonically and televised at the same time. Kind of feels like dial-up internet. For those of you who remember what dial-up used to be like, compared to the technology that's available now. So it's something I wanted to throw out there to the board and the district to consider moving forward. And again, for those who choose to block their camera, they can do so. But I think it would get us on the same page as a lot of other neighboring districts and governing bodies. And that's all I have for tonight. Thank you, Mr. Board President, Mr. Martinez.
Thank you, Vice President Montez. Glad you're back. Glad you're feeling well, and glad the family is healthy as well.
Thank you.
Okay. I do have some comments, but based on reopening and going to Zoom or some similar platform, I'm ready. I just got rid of my COVID hair, and if you want to know what my COVID hair looked like, think of Don King, or yeah. Anyway, it was longer and it was out of control. So now I'm back to my normal. And I do remember dial-up speeds being 2,800 baud. And I remember being one of the first ones to connect to Stanford back in the 70s when they were still dealing with DARPANet. And I got on there and I said, wow, this is boring. It was all text, bulletin board style. Basically what you see on our YouTube feed right now. So
Wow.
It was a number of years till I got back on that. But yeah, you guys do know how to make me feel old. So anyway, back onto the agenda. Thank everyone for their comments. Loved hearing them. And the only thing I have as for returning, I would love to see signed waivers so that the districts, the school districts, whether ours or anyone else, don't get sued. I've only heard that spoken of one time, and it was somebody out of Washington. And I don't remember, it doesn't matter which party, they're on the same wavelength that the schools need to be on. So, okay. Item D, public hearing. Public information. Williams Settlement Legislation Quarterly Uniform Complaint Report. Summary for October through December 20. It is available under tab D. If you're interested, everything is zero. Instructional materials, facilities, teacher vacancies, and misassignments. Complaints, zero. Resolved, zero. Unresolved, zero. So love the numbers. So let's see. Moving on to consent calendar. All items on the consent calendar will be acted upon in one motion unless pulled by Board of Education members or the superintendent for individual action. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So move, Montez.
Second.
Thank you.
O'Kelly.
Thank you, Ms. O'Kelly. Okay, vote by board members. Ms. Walker.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Ms. O'Kelly.
Aye.
Thank you. Clerk Lewis.
Aye.
Thank you. Vice President Montez.
Aye.
Thank you. Jump for that mute button, my friend. That's what I have to do. And I am also aye, so we are unanimous. Oh, I'm sorry. I started at the bottom. I apologize, Ms. Lopez. Preferential vote. You're the most important one on here.
Well, aye.
Thank you. Now I feel a whole lot better, and we're back on track. Okay, do we have any polls? Okay, we didn't have any. I'll find my place yet. Here we go. On to discussion action items. Sorry about that, folks. Annual audited financial report, basically what was reported on this evening by Diane Romo. Can I have a motion and a second on F1, annual audited financial report?
Move to accept the annual audited financial report. O'Kelly.
Thank you, Ms. O'Kelly. And second, please.
Second, Montez.
Thank you, Vice President Montez. Okay, that is to accept the fiscal year 2019-2020 annual audited financial report completed by ID Bailey LLP at no cost to the district. And vote by board member Walker.
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Thank you. Clerk Lewis? Clerk Lewis? Vice President Montez?
Aye.
Thank you. And myself as well, aye. Clerk Lewis, are you with us?
She may have gotten disconnected or may be having technical difficulties with her phone.
Yes.
I suggest we probably consider her vote abstain and move on.
Yes, agreed. Okay. We have 4 yes, 4 ayes, and 1 abstention by default. Okay, F2, annual audited general obligation bond, GO measure, Y, financial and performance audit for fiscal year 2019 and 2020. A motion, please.
Move to accept the fiscal year 2019-2020 annual general obligation measure Y financial and performance audit.
Yeah, that is a mouthful. Thank you, Ms. O'Kelly. Can I have a second, please?
Second
Walker,
with a question.
Okay, go ahead with your question, and thank you for the second, Mr. Montez. Go ahead.
Dr. Avila, maybe somebody can answer this. How much money of the Measure Y bond is left?
Yes, we do have Diane and Mr. Islam who are online. They can address that question. Mohammed, Diane?
Hello?
Mr. Montez, this is Diane Reyes. I will get that information over to Dr. Avila and have it delivered to you.
What is wrong with the sound?
It's like the outer limits. Somebody's listening to it as well as speaking, and it's feeding back. Okay, you want to try again?
Thank you, Ms. Romo. I heard her through the echo.
Okay, as long as somebody agrees that it was heard. Thank you, Ms. Romo. And your question was answered, Vice President Montes?
No, but they will get that information to me at a later time.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any other questions or comments? Okay, time for a vote. Board members, Ms. Walker.
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Thank you. Clerk Lewis, did the technology monster let you back on?
I hope so. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Aye.
Gotcha.
Okay, thank you. And it was I on the last one. It just didn't come through.
Okay. If we could go ahead and register that. Thank you. F1, Ms. Clerk Lewis would like to change to an I. Clerk Lewis, did the technology monster let you back on?
I hope so. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Aye.
Okay, somebody is monitoring. Please either mute or turn the volume down on what you're listening to, whomever that might be.
Well, Mr. Martinez, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
One of the things about the Zoom-style meetings is that it makes it easier for the chair to see who has their microphone muted and who doesn't have their microphone muted. So that would be a big help.
Yeah, I guess I could go that way. Gonna make me do it, huh? All right. How do you vote, Vice President Montes?
Aye.
Thank you. And I am also an aye. Thank you, Board. F3, agreement with alternative behavior strategies. A motion and a second, please.
Clerk Lewis, I move motion.
Thank you.
Second, O'Kelly.
Oh, thank you, Ms. O'Kelly. And F3, agreement with alternative behavior strategies. Approve an agreement with alternative behavior strategies to provide applied behavior analyst ABA aids effective January 28th, 2021 through June 30th of 2021 at a cost not to exceed $100,000 and to be paid from the general fund, special education. Questions or comments, Board?
Yes, I have a question. Yes, is that only approved for 4 aides?
Do we have an answer without my having to look in the narrative? Dr. Abbott?
Yes, good evening, Board. This is Bridget Ely. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead, Ms. Ely.
Yeah, so we have several families who have multiple children on the spectrum that we try to provide support in the home. So right now we are looking at 4 students, but eventually we do add some, especially if we see an increase in behavior or we need to provide more support in the home for the families.
So was that number, it was just for 4 students?
Right correct? Now it's for 4. Yes, that's for 4, and it's through June. Yes, right now.
That seemed to be a low number, considering how many.
We have other contractors that are out there that are providing support for a number of our students. So this is just an additional one. We wanted to ensure that we had aides that were only going into one home and not multiple homes. So we had to extend and get another agency in because the other 2 agencies are, they're very thin at this point due to COVID and the number of students who are requiring support in the home throughout the Inland Empire.
Okay, and then I have another question. With this agreement, is there a continuity of care? Because usually if you have a lot of providers switching in and out, that's very disruptive for the ABA. So do you have a continuity?
Yes, we do. So that's why we went with this company. They were already providing support. And so we now have one agency only going into home. We didn't want to have multiple agencies going into the home to keep the risk down for COVID. Yes.
Yes, but I'm talking about within their staffing. Do they have a continuity? You know, you can have the agency and they just have a whole bunch of staff turning over, and that's disruptive to the family.
No, yes,
that's
they
just
do
something
have
to think about.
Yes, I do think they do. We haven't had a lot of turnover in aides, and they send the same aide to the same home.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Ms. Ely. Do we have any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, we're ready to vote. Ms. Walker, how do you vote? Okay. I haven't lost the connection yet tonight. Ms. O'Kelly, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. And Clerk Lewis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Vice President Montez, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. And I am also an aye. Ms. Walker, are you back with us?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Just in time. Okay, we are on F4, resolution number 2021-17, remuneration. Motion and a second, please.
I move that we accept the motion. Clerk Lewis.
Thank you, Clerk Lewis. Second, please.
Walker, second.
We had a triple. Who'd like to take that?
Walker, second.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Okay, this is adopt resolution number 20-21-17, excusing the absence of Board Vice President Edgar Montez from the Wednesday, January 13th, 2021 regular meeting of the Board of Education. And questions, comments? Thank you, Board. Okay, go ahead.
Move to adopt this resolution number 2021-17.
Okay, yes, we're already past that. We're ready to vote. Ms. Walker, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Now, Ms. O'Kelly, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Clerk Lewis?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Thank you. Vice President Montez?
I'll abstain. Thank you.
Thank you. Abstention? Wise. And I am also an aye. Okay, 4 ayes and abstention by Vice President Montez. F5, resolution number 2021-18. Continue distance learning through 2020 through 2021 school year to protect students and staff from the spread of coronavirus COVID-19. Motion and a second, please, and I'm sure there's some discussion.
I move. Clerk Lewis.
Clerk Lewis.
Second. Montez.
Thank you, Vice President Montez. Okay, adopt resolution 2021 authorizing to continue distance learning through 2020-2021 school year to protect students and staff from the spread of coronavirus COVID-19. Discussion or questions or comments? Wow. All right. I know staff is listening, and we're concerned. So here we go. We are extending that for the rest of the year. So vote by board members. Ms. Walker.
Aye.
Thank you. And Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Thank you. Clerk Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you. Vice President Montez?
Aye.
Aye. And it is unanimous. I also vote aye. Okay, tonight we adjourn our school board meeting with a moment of silence for Mr. William Kamawiwul. Mr. Kamawiwul passed away recently. He was a lead custodian at Eisenhower High School. He retired in 2007. Mr. Kamawiwul began working in the Rialto Unified School District in July of 1987 as a custodian at Henry Elementary School. From 1993 through 2007, working up the ranks in maintenance and operations, he called Eisenhower High School his second home. After 20 years of service, he retired from Eisenhower High School. Mr. Kamawiwul is survived by his family, including his son, Kapena, who is a maintenance worker 3 in our district. Our thoughts and deepest condolences go out to Mr. Kamawiwul's family in their time of great sorrow. Please join me with a moment of silence as we adjourn our board meeting in his honor. Okay, adjournment. The next regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Rialto Unified School District will be held on January 10th, 2021 at 7 p.m., telephonically and via streamlined audio only. Materials distributed or presented to the Board of Education at the board meeting are available upon request from the superintendent's office. And I'd like to make a comment. There's a couple of questions as to the report that was, oh boy, the Williams Settlement Report, item D as in Delta 1. So that information is available from the superintendent's office. Okay, can I have a motion from our student board member, if she's available, for adjournment?
I motion to adjourn.
Excellent. Getting better each time. Thank you, Ms. Lopez. And can I have a second, please?
Lewis, clerk, second.
Thank you, Clerk Lewis. Vote by board members to adjourn. Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Thank you. Clerk Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you. Vice President Montez?
Aye.
Thank you. And I did it again. Preferential vote by student board member Destiny Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you. And official, I also am an aye. So we are done at 7:58.